Welcome to Vantage Point 27. In a previous episode about space, I had spoken about the things that I think are the most relevant to space exploration. Space is such a wide and interesting subject that there probably always will be a lot to discuss. I think one of the most astonishing things about space is this veil of sky above us, which shows us glinting stars and a burning orb. Beautiful and poetic. But look at it with a telescope, and then we see space, and start to comprehend how small we are in the solar system, and how small the solar system is in the galaxy, and how small galaxies are compared to the universe. And if your mind can grasp this, space is expanding. Mind boggling, isn't it? As a Muslim, when I think about the universe in this way, I feel humbled beyond words before God's great power. And I thank God to have given us enough knowledge and wisdom to have learned as much as we have about the world we live in and the universe. We have passed a milestone in technology. In particular, aviation has certainly changed our lives by shortening the time it takes to travel to distant countries and locations. And there are companies working on making faster planes, and even planes that can fly up to space, like Virgin Galactic. They had that horrible crash, but they are again attempting sky and space flight. If you find aviation interesting, I have written in detail about the changes in aviation on Ink in the Internet. SpaceX have taken a big step in the right direction with the reusable rocket boosters, but leading the way in major space technological advancements is without a doubt NASA and Russia. Other countries are following their example and making ambitious space plans, including India and China. However, it is upsetting to know that NASA don't have enough money, as discussed by Neil deGrasse Tyson, Chuck Nice, and former NASA chief scientist Ellen Stofan. They make a very important point, and I've read about it on the NASA site as well. A lot of technology by NASA scientists isn't exclusive to space exploration or the International Space Station. They have spin-offs, which turn them into products for everyday use by regular people. Apart from this, the International Space Station is giving us the chance to study our own species and agriculture to a degree as though it were alien. That is, by examining how plants grow in microgravity, an environment in which anything from Earth is alien. Even DNA was sequenced at the space station. Fire ignition was tested as well by NASA in space. There's no telling what discoveries might be made in the future by such tests and experiments. Hopefully President Trump is taking an interest in space and NASA. Another subject regarding space that I read about often is should humans go to Mars. I personally wouldn't encourage people to go to Mars or any planet. We weren't created to live in alien environments. It could be deadly or psychologically so aggravating that it causes mental deterioration. However, these planets might have things valuable in Earth or help Earth survive longer. So I completely encourage artificial intelligence and robots that can safely explore these planets. For me, space and even science fiction stories have inspired the prospect of the existence of aliens, and I've often wondered why are flying saucers allegedly the most commonly cited UFOs. They seem to be inspired by Saturn. Did humans come up with the stories? Or did aliens really engineer flying saucers after observing Saturn? So much to contemplate. It's science fiction, so the theories are endless. It took humans so many years and intelligence to be able to land Curiosity on Mars. So if there are aliens who can travel to Earth, they have to be intelligent. Posted in my article, my science fiction theory about the engineering of flying saucers, if they're real. Here's a look at my spacecraft. Warning, do not try to make my spacecraft. Things like this could blow up. I was told that the picture doesn't show or explain where solar panels, which are usually very large, fitted into the spacecraft. True, the picture doesn't show it, but the dark strip you see contains photovoltaic cells with antimatter atoms. So when electrons are knocked off, as with the science of regular solar power, an electric current is generated. But with the strip being so small, the current will be weak and unable to power the spacecraft to reach supersonic speeds. But with antimatter atom, the current will be very strong and can easily power the spacecraft's required speed.
Dear Arjuan,
I like to put science fiction theories in some of my articles as a way to make them fun. Growing up, my interest in science was sparked by shows like Bill Nye, the Science Guy, which made learning fun. I think if aliens existed, they could use gravitational waves as a highly sensitive radar for navigation of the spacecraft. I recommend watching an episode of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert in which Professor Brian Greene explains gravitational waves. Not really. I grew up speaking Arabic, English, and Hindi, so there wasn't an effort to learn a foreign language. So I started a Spanish language course, which I didn't complete. Hope to catch up with it. Please donate to help Puerto Rico, who are going through a crisis. Presently, there are a lot of outlets on the internet for donations. Many people forget animals during a crisis. Please remember them in your donations, as there are several organizations which help people and their pets or stray animals. Hotels, please open your doors to the people and their pets because they are even more helpless than people.